Irashaimase! Hello and welcome again to Fitaurus' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. In celebration of its release on Steam, I'll be doing a review today of Valkyria Chronicles for the PlayStation 3, originally released by Sega back in 2008. Valkyria Chronicles is one of my favorite strategy games for the PlayStation console. It's a great blend of third-person action and strategy, and is presented in a beautiful cel-shaded visual aspect with a wonderful and unique sketch filter that's applied over the top of it. So it's truly unique and beautiful. It's definitely one of my favorite games for the console. So, let's go ahead and have a look at it. Let's get cooking. Here we have Valkyria Chronicles, released by Sega in 2008 for the PlayStation 3, and then ported to the PC in 2014. In Valkyria Chronicles, you play the role of Welkin Gunther, the son of a great war hero from the first great Europa War, the alternate history Europe that Valkyria Chronicles takes place in.
All right, Edelweiss, move out!
Through a set of circumstances, Welkin, who is just a college student returning to his hometown, is drawn into the conflict, eventually drafted into the military as a lieutenant, and he goes and gains command of the Gallian Squad 7. Here we have the Imperial forces that are going and attacking the country of Galilea. The Imperial Prince Maximilian and his 3 generals.
We will require reinforcements. They will be sent to Central Gallia.
Needless to say, the Imperials definitely have their own agenda when it comes to the country of Gallia, and are relatively merciless in their attack on the country.
Move it! Come on, let's go!
Cobalt flames of the Valkyria. Smite our foes! All forces, there stands Gallia! Claim her!
The story, and indeed the entire game, is accessed through what is referred to in the menus as book mode. Basically, the campaign is being told through a book, and you're just an observer going and flipping through the pages. The book goes and provides links to all the various cutscenes throughout, and as well as access to the actual story missions within the game itself. In addition to that, there are tabs on the side. The headquarters tabs, which we'll get to in a second. The skirmishes tab, which allows you to go and engage in skirmish battles. Personnel, which goes and provides bios on all the various characters, which there are quite a few. The weaponry tab, which goes and gives you detailed information about the weaponry in Valkyria Chronicles. The glossary, which actually acts as an encyclopedia for the game, going and giving you a vast amount of history and information about the world and the mythos of the game of Valkyria Chronicles. Just about every little facet of the previous history can be accessed. Really a nice feature. There's also the decorations tab, which basically goes and gives you medals for achieving certain goals within the game itself. Do remember this when it came out on the PlayStation before trophies were mandatory. Okay, onward to headquarters. Here we are at headquarters, which is basically a city street in Randgries. Here it allows us to go and access all the various locations where we can go and manage our squad, as well as our tanks and weapon equipment, and also gives us a couple other options. So first off, we'll go to the squad barracks. Here we can go and have a look at our various squad members who are currently assigned to the squad. It goes and has each character, which class they are, class level, as well as what they're equipped with, and their various HP, attack stats, that sort of thing, as we'll go through the entire squad. Alright, moving on, the command room.
Hello, Welkin. Here to fine-tune your squad?
Here in the command room, we have the choice of going and altering our squad. We can go and take people that we have assigned to the squad out and go and add new recruits in. The game actually goes and has a really large cast of characters, so you can go and really customize your squad to those characters that you go and like. Each character goes and has different potentials. In the case of this Melville here, or sorry, moving on. In the case of all the characters, they do have various potentials, some which can go and cause positive effects, some which can go and cause negative effects. It just goes and depends, but as you can see, there are really a large number of characters that we can go and recruit into the party, or squad.
Come back anytime you need to change your lineup, Lieutenant.
Moving on, we've got the training field.
Welcome to your worst nightmare, maggots!
I don't like nightmares, and I'm not a maggot.
Train all you want. I've got all day.
Well, I guess training is what we're here for. So here we can go and assign experience gained from battles to various classes. In Valkyria Chronicles, each class goes and has a shared level, so all the scouts will be level, whichever level you go and level them to, same with the troopers, lancers, engineers, and snipers. And you can assign levels on this chalkboard as you go and see. So let's go ahead and level up the... what do I have enough experience for? Guess it'll have to be the scouts. Once you've gone and assigned how much to go and assign, you sweat, sweat, sweat. Alright, the scouts have leveled up, so now all the scouts on our team will now be level 15. Apparently maggots can become human with enough training. We'll have to work on that.
Come back anytime you're ready to sweat.
Love that guy. Alright, on to the R&D facility.
Welkin, bro! I'm stoked you're here, man. What can I do you for?
Here, you can go and develop weapons, as well as outfit the tanks. So, we're just looking at the rifles real quick. You basically have a tech tree that goes down, that you can go and develop the different weapons and then go and assign the weapons to your squad. In the case of the rifles, and indeed all the weapons, I went the route of accuracy, which was that center column there. Then you've got the tanks. Here's the various body enhancements you can possibly develop for the tanks, treads and other. And then attack support. Then you can also outfit the tanks. This is actually a relatively unique and interesting part of this title. When you're going and equipping the tanks, each module that you equip on the tank goes and has a particular size to it, and you have to be able to go and fit it in on the Edelweiss, which is like represented by that rectangle there. So you have to go and make sure you can go and slot in each piece of equipment. It definitely kind of provides a kind of min-maxing depending on what kind of statistics you want to go and have on your tank.
Come back again soon, bro. I mean it, man.
Thanks. We'll do that. Maybe, maybe not. Alright, Castlefront Street just goes and takes you to where, well, you'll see in a moment.
Hey! Dropping by to read the writing on the wall? That's a good man. Oh, and how about the new rising star of Squad 7, huh? I've heard some wild stories. You must be proud. I couldn't help but snipe him with a pop interview. You'll have to read it once I get it all drafted up.
Here you have various news write-ups about the ongoings in Gallia, mostly about your exploits, but there's also some news stories that go and cover other things as well.
Come to make a donation to the Get Elliot's Name on a Book Fund?
Looks like I've already completed all of those, but that's okay.
Come back and see the writing on the wall.
Cut her off there. Next is the War Cemetery. Here, you'll go and meet this old gentleman
I'm sorry.
who can teach you orders to go and use in battle.
I hope we'll meet again.
And last, we have the Audience Hall. Here you can go and gain an audience with the Archduchess of Gallia, basically the ruler of the country.
Lieutenant Welkin Gunther, step forward.
Alright, let's go ahead and head back to book mode. We went and got something updated. Interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump down to the skirmish tab. I'll go ahead and give you guys a little intro of the various classes as well as a brief overview of the battle system. So we'll go ahead and pick the Colden Wildwoods. Alright, here we are. So, first off, once you're in a battle, the first step is going and positioning your units. So, in the case of the Colden Wildwood battle, there are two deployment places that we can possibly go and put our units. So we'll go ahead and pick the northern one first. Start off by placing a scout, Alicia, a shock trooper, Rosie, a lancer, we'll go with Walter on this one, and then we'll go with an engineer. We'll do Claudia. Alright, that's it for that location. Other location. Here we'll also go and put another scout. We'll go with Ica. Another shock trooper, Edie. Another lancer, Largo. And last, but definitely not least, we'll go with a sniper, Marina. Then in that squad as well, we also have our two tanks, but you usually don't get to go and choose your deployment of those. So here's the objectives for the battle. The enemy base camp is destroyed. If Welkin is killed, or if we go and lose all of our units, then we lose, or if we hit 20 turns. There are other winning battle conditions in the campaigns, but for the most part, skirmishes are just capture the enemy base.
Let's drive these Imperials back out of Gallia! Squad 7, move out!
Here we are, moving out with Squad 7. Here we are at the main strategic map. So on this map we have all of our units as well as the enemy units that we can see displayed So, first off, we'll go over the units. The main units of great importance are, of course, the tanks. So, we do have 2 tanks, the Edelweiss and the Shamrock, which you receive later in the game, but the Edelweiss you will have throughout the entire game.
Gotta love nature. Underminer fire.
At the bottom of the screen, in the middle there, you have a bar which is basically the unit's AP, or movement. As long as there's still orange in that bar, you have the ability to go and move. Once that's depleted, you won't be able to move anymore. You also have the ability to go into targeting mode, which is I'm showing right here. Once in that mode, you can go and move your unit around, go and target in a full 360-degree range around you. I'm also going through some of the various weapons that the Edelweiss is equipped with here. There's the main cannon shot, the Ragnite rounds. Trying to go and pick a target here. I think we'll go with that tank. Well, I tried to hit the tank. Feel sorry for that guy. Tank round to the head, never a good way to go. Alright, let's move on to the next units. We'll go ahead and start with the Scout. Your Scouts are your, well, basic Scout unit. They have low HP and low defense, but really high AP, so they're able to go and move across a significant amount of the map on each turn that they go and take.
Strike when you see an opening.
So when you're in combat, you're basically moving the character around in a third-person view, and you have like full range of motion to go and go where you please, just as long as you don't run out of HP. Once you're in combat, here we're in target mode again. The enemies don't see us, so it was an easy strike. Real quick, that was a CP point, basically command point. So enemies that go and have that, as well as your own troops, go and allow you to go and command more troops. But anyway, after attack, you can still go and continue moving. One of the interesting aspects of the game is that enemies and your own units will go and fire if they're seen by enemy units. Alright, here we have Rosie, who's a shock trooper. Shock troopers don't have much in the way of movement, but are somewhat heavily armored against bullets and are equipped with machine guns to be able to go and deal heavy damage. They also can later be equipped with flamethrowers and... well, that was dumb of me. They can also be equipped with flamethrowers, and all the units... well, not all of them, but most of the units are equipped with grenades as well. So here we can go and see just the sheer power that shock troopers present. So they are machine guns, so sometimes accuracy leaves a bit to be desired, but the power is definitely there. So here's a minor enemy camp. If you clear out all the enemies from them, then you can have a unit go and capture them. If you're out of AP, no matter how much you try, can't go and move anymore. Alright, moving on. Next up is the Lancer.
Roger that.
Lancers are your heavily armored anti-tank troops. These guys' main purpose is to go and take out enemy vehicles, tanks, and other light vehicles. They have high HP, high defense, but low AP, so low movement. And they also have limited ammunition. They can only go and carry 3 rounds, though you do get 1 round of ammunition regenerated each turn. Here we go and see them actually attacking a tank. Very effective.
I'll try my best.
Alright, moving on. The Engineer. The Engineer, while it can go and attack with about the same power as the Scouts, are your basic support class. They're able to go and replenish other units' ammunition, so tanks, lancers, and snipers, as well as providing heals to enemies and tanks and disabling landmines. And last but definitely not least, we have the sniper class. The sniper is, as you can go and imagine, just simply a sniper. Really low HP, really low movement, but probably the highest anti-personnel damage of any of the foot units, as we can see here by this impressive one-shot kill on that enemy lancer.
Sweet dreams.
It's also possible, as long as you have AP, to continue, or rather, as long as you have CP, command points, to go and move units multiple times. The penalty therein, though, is that they'll have reduced AP each time you go and use them, to the point where they'll have almost no ability to move. Here we go with a grenade to take out these two troops. Perfect. Alright, now we're going and covering one thing that you shouldn't be careful with, though, is going and overextending yourself. Here I went and moved my scout all the way into the enemy's main base, but unfortunately I stretched myself a little too thin. Certain characters on your end, like I mentioned before, are going to have command points, and each character's movement goes and takes a set number of command points. Tanks take 2, each individual goes and takes 1. It is possible to bank them for future turns, though. One fun thing to note is if you don't actually have any enemies in the direct line of sight, their movement is displayed with that comic book style sound effects on the tactical map. Alright, now here we've got the end of this particular battle.
Ain't no stopping me.
And the characters' potentials will go and activate depending on the situations. And here we have a great example of the sheer power that shock troopers can go and deliver. There's 5 units right around the enemy camp flag, but one blast of the flamethrower, they're all toast.
Nice work. Keep taking them down.
Mission accomplished. Or operation complete. I guess it's the same thing.
Operation complete. We took their base.
Right, after you're completed with a mission, you go and get a results screen. It goes and gives you there's a base results score, plus you go and get additional experience for your clear rank, which is largely based on how many turns it took you to clear, as well as how much damage you incurred, how many enemies you took out as far as leaders, aces, and tanks. There's a good range of battlefields that are presented throughout the game. In this case, we have trench warfare, a desert battle among ancient ruins, battling in an industrial canyon, or a canyon lined with industrial buildings, however you want to go and put that.
Focus on making smart choices, soldiers. Target sighted.
And battling in the remnants of a burned out European-esque village.
Keep that front line strong. Don't move around unnecessarily.
The game also has a nice tip of the hat to one of my favorite Sega RPGs, Skies of Arcadia. The two main characters from that game, Vice and Ica, are both present as various characters you can go and recruit for your squad. So here we have Vice, the air pirate, and his partner, Aika.
Try to conserve ammunition when you can.
There you have it. Valkyria Chronicles cooked up for your enjoyment. It's definitely one of my favorite strategy games for the PlayStation 3. As you may have noticed from my video, it's possible that the difficulty can actually go and get pretty high. If you're not careful, it's very easy to go and lose your units, including your main unit, your tank, in which case you get a game over. But that goes and makes it all the more satisfying when you're actually able to go and complete difficult stages and ultimately the game itself. But if you go and consider it easy and you're looking for more of a challenge, on the PlayStation there is a hard mode DLC that's available, as well as some extra story content, well, maybe side mission content might be a better way to put it, available. I believe on the Steam version that's all included. So, ultimately, it's a title that I highly recommend you go and pick up if you go and thought it would look interesting in this video. Either the original PlayStation 3 version or the newly released Steam version. I don't think you could go wrong either way. Thank you so much for going and watching this video, and I hope you'll go and enjoy me in the kitchen again. Thank you very much for coming.